Okay, so are you recording?
Yep.
Okay. Oh my gosh, because me writing is going to mess up this flow. And this shit is coming down quick. Okay. So whenever we're looking at this masculine energy, so when for the past 100 years at least, ever since the industrialization of the people has occurred, the push has been for the head of the family to leave the farm and go to the city and go work or whatever, and then he'll send money home. But immigrants do this all the time. There's always a flood of the male immigrants that is pushed to go do all of this and get away from the family. This is partly a push because it's the feminine energy that forces that masculine energy to deal with and address his emotional bodies, or to help him to process those strong emotions, his mother, his sisters. But since the attack of the family has occurred in the past 100 years, there is a wedge within that male. So you take these leaders and you take them and condition them that they themselves within their own mind, first off, what is a dislocation or a detachment from the physical body and the spiritual body. Because of this detachment, that male, his physical body, he's only focused on his physical body. He's never thinking of that, his spiritual self. So when he's going through his life and everything is going to bring about some type of a feeling in or an emotion, or you are going to be neutral. So if you begin to teach this man and you make sure that he is not around any of those that is going to help him to deal with his feeling and emotions, which will be women, because of that feminine energy, that man is going to go through life incapable of dealing with any type of an emotional situation. Although it's impossible for that man to go through life and not deal with an emotional situation. So in a sense, that's the way that they are controlling the male species, or because if that man is incapable of dealing with his emotional bodies, then he is incapable of rising to the higher frequencies, whereas he will be able to better help himself and his family and his community.
For real. So man incapabilities of dealing with his emotions and why. Mm.
Yeah, because if I was going to wage a war, I want that warrior gene, because men are warriors. This is part of their build. This is how they build. What that woman is, the creator. That man is that warrior. He's that builder. So in order to utilize that brute force, you want to hone in on that warrior gene. However, you do not want to allow for that emotional body to fully mature, because if you are corrupt, that emotional, with the maturity of that, the emotional maturity of the maturity of the emotional body is going to prevent that warrior from committing unspeakable crime, so to say. So when you want to push the generation to send their boys and their brothers and husbands and fathers to war, and while they are there, you want to get them to commit these crimes or these hideous injustices against their own self. That's why they have that PTSD. Oh my gosh. The PTSD is because of the fact that they are going against the laws of the Ma'at anyway, because the things that they witness and doing is causing an infraction, is even building a bigger wedge between their physical body and their emotional body. So, oh my gosh.
Most definitely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's like I gotta sort this out in my head. Well, no, because y'all see, so I need for y'all to make sure that y'all, if I say something that you don't understand, and I will ask a question because there's something that I'm missing. It's something that is not allowing it to totally connect. Something is missing. I'm missing something. Okay, so if I was going to attack a people, you would want to attack the warriors simply because of the fact that it is the warriors that is going that you will want to control. So based on some of the information on the other channels or that's out there with the conspiracy agendas that they have written about. Of course, we all know about the food and things like that. But when you're dealing with that DNA, just like just like in the feminine energy, just like no matter what goes on within that feminine DNA, the will to procreate and bring forth a new life is already coded within that woman's DNA. Even though that they have introduced all of these medications and things like that, they are incapable of preventing a woman from bringing forth life 100%. There's probably within that masculine energy, there's a coded DNA that they are incapable of fully getting that man to intentionally submit his will for their manipulation. And it must be something to do with that emotional body. So they will want to make sure that that man never fully becomes have my odds balanced with his masculine and feminine self, because then that's the rise of the giant. That's the giant. Oh fuck! That's the giant. Shit. No.
Now, when you say
That's
that,
the code that they were talking about in World War II. That's the giant.
Yes, because when you say that's the giant, do you mean figuratively speaking, like that's the giant in the room? That's what they hiding from us. That's what they.
No. What the higher self. See, the goal of the spiritual mission in life, the goal of being successful is to align with your higher self. And so this goes back to whenever we were talking and I was telling you about how, like, the three bodies is your past, which is your childlike self. Your present and your future is your higher self. That's the motherfucking giant. That's the beast that they want to tame or try to contain. Oh, that's what they want to contain. The giant, the beast, is the higher self whenever it is aligned with your present day self and your childlike self. Because when these three are aligned together, you are fully aligned. This right here allows for you to reach that ninth chakra. You are, oh shit! Oh! Yes! Yes, because it has to be aligned in order for that snake to loop its way up and that is the lotus. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm excited. My whole body is just Okay. Now, so if you can prevent this masculine DNA from sparking its own self, because the masculine energy is the spark. So when the masculine energy is fully aligned with this childlike present and higher self, it sparks his own self. And this is when he has access to this knowledge, to this wisdom. This is what they do with Tantra sex, is to get the woman to ignite this man so he can spark her so that she allows whenever they are okay, well, do I need to explain that? Continue explaining it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is where the importance of Tantra sex in the past, and they have used this. Okay. So, oh my gosh, this is the importance of why a masculine needs an awoken feminine energy for, okay. Okay. Okay, so this is going into why with the elite and the secretive families, and they are so concerned about marriages and them connecting certain had and it would know like their lineages. So, oh my gosh. Well, never mind, because this may sound, what I haven't researched it, oh my gosh, oh my God. No, I'm going to trust myself. I trust the knowledge. Okay, so the importance of those people that manipulate energies. This is how they are able to get in a position so that they can control. So if you have someone that's, let's say, he goes and he signs up for a secret society. So they will push for him to marry a certain type of woman. The certain type of woman is the goal is to try to raise that energy of that masculine. And in order to raise the frequency of that masculine without him having to do all of the internal work. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if I should say this or whatever, because it kind of sounds crazy. Okay. So if you want to try to artificially raise your frequency, and if you are an alchemist and you have the ability to absorb and to manipulate energies, you would want to find a woman who naturally resonates at a high frequency. However, you do not want her to be fully awoken, because in order for you to manipulate, you want to get the consent without that person being aware that they are giving consent. Because what you're doing is manipulating their energy so that you can artificially increase your frequency so that you can have access to certain skills so that you can manipulate. You know how salesmen, like the people that are master salesmen, what they use a form of a hypnotic skills or whatever, but all it is, but know how when you get to resonating at a higher frequency, what you unlock certain skills. I want to like the clairvoyancy, psychic skills, what the clairaudience, etc. So, but normally, so the ancients have, so we do not have access to all of these skills because of the fact of how our society has been structured, and we are not fully awoken to have access to these skills. So what these secret societies have done is they have figured out a way to artificially, I think I already said that. So what, okay, so what part did I not explain? Because I feel like I'm repeating myself because I'm trying to edit certain things, and I guess I don't need to edit certain things. Oh, yes. Okay. Tantra energy. So a way to artificially, no, okay. So if a man has a woman that is resonating at a high frequency, she, depending on, okay, if the ideal is to have a woman that's resonating at a high frequency and she's spiritually awoken. Because if she's spiritually awoken and if she has mastered the ability of controlling her energy, she has the ability to connect to source energy. So within sex, that man, if they are flowing at a mutual frequency, as her energy is building and her frequency is rising, because the woman normally tendency has the ability to, her energy is resonating higher than the man in the beginning. This is for the reason because she's the one that connects to source. Oh shit, yeah. Oh, because she's the one that connects to source energy, because in the beginning, X marks the fucking spot. So the man needs to connect to that X that marks the spot in order for him to that's it. Okay. I feel like I know a secret or something. Oh my gosh. So this is good. Okay, so if this is gonna be uploaded, I need to make, this is going back to, I guess, where Brother Sanchez had he had done a video, an open panel. I think this was on episode 21. This was the first question that I ever asked. I sent an email and asked the question about detachment, because within that video, he was talking about detachment and how is that higher, to being able to connect, to consciously connect to your higher self, and then this lets you have beaming up Scotty, basically, that's the reference that he had made. So, and with the secret societies, so my question was dealing with, because this is the idea that I got from watching the video, and man, I had to go back over this video like several different times. Just had to make sure that what I was thinking is it's all coming together. So with these secret societies, the reason that they traumatize the children is because it's within that trauma that that child learns to retain the ability to consciously detach themselves from their physical body while this particular trauma is happening to them. And they can go to the spiritual realm. And this is the way that the subconscious protects itself to keep from that mental break. If something is too traumatic, it's like that detachment is what saves you from basically total destruction, or like a mental break or mental and I hate to say the mental break, because the break is whenever the detachment occurs, but it's not broken. It's actually preserving yourself. It's preserving you, because that is part of the mental blockages that people have on their spiritual journey, that they have to go back into process, because these particular mental blockages could have happened and they detached from their physical body. However, they still need to go back and process that emotional what that emotional trauma that occurred at that time, because unless they process that emotional trauma that occurred at that time, it is going to continue to trigger an adverse reaction within their spiritual growth. That's why whenever people begin to have what their spiritual awakening, a lot of times, or some of the times, if it's too extreme, the people will go and they commit suicide, and or they go and get addicted to major drugs, because they are trying to suppress the things that they had already suppressed. However, when you are on this spiritual journey, it's trying to resurface all of those things so that you can process those things. That's so that you can prepare your body to be able to maintain that high frequency.